The World Government Summit is in the last leg, and with me is the man who conceptualized this entire event and has been doing so since 2013. Mohammad Al Shahran, thank you for speaking to India today, and thank you for having us here in Dubai. It starts in 2013, 13 years and counting. How do you look at the success of this event?
Thank you, first of all, to India Today for being part of this event and for being our India partner in this World Government Summit. Maybe something that I'd like to mention, the concept of the World Government Summit was developed by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum back in 2013, when the region and the UAE needed a platform to help in improving government services. And that's how it grew over the years to become today one of the largest non-political platforms for governments, convening governments and private sector from every single part of the world.
And how many requests did you get from the titans of the industry, in particular, Shahran, for being invited for this summit?
So, the narrative has changed over the years. When the summit started, it was mainly focused on how to learn from the best practices to improve government services, I would say maybe on a local or regional level. The narrative has changed over the years to become more of a global conversation on how to bridge the gap between how fast the technology is moving, how fast the pace of the industry is moving, with how fast is the adoption from governments is. Today, many governments request to participate at the World Government Summit at the highest level to come, one, to share challenges, discuss opportunities, and look at the future on how they can improve how they serve their citizens. Today, at this World Government Summit, which is the largest since the inception of the summit, we have had 47 presidents and prime ministers participating. And they represent every single part of this world, whether it's the Caribbean, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, the MENA region, or other regions from around the world.
Shaping future governments. That's the theme of this summit. And AI, robotics, has been the buzzword. A lot of sessions planned around it, a lot of conversations which have happened around it. Have we arrived at some papers or some advisor, some advisors for the governments world over?
So when it comes to the theme of the World Government Summit, I don't know if you have noticed, but the theme never changes for the World Government Summit. It's always shaping future governments. There is a reason for that. We believe that governments should be in a constant change and constant improvement and constant evolvement. That's why we believe that governments should be reshaped every year to keep up with whatever changes happening around us. So the conversations does support that main theme of the World Government Summit. Of course, AI is a building block for every single thing that we would like to discuss here at the World Government Summit. But prior to the summit, we have had the World Laureate Summit, which convened 80 of the smartest Nobel laureates from all over the world here in Dubai at the sidelines of the World Government Summit. The conversation was around how can we also go back to fundamental science, to artificial intelligence, to technology, to quantum physics, to understand how can governments operate in a better way and the intersection between science and government services. So, as you said, AI has been present throughout the conversations at the World Government Summit. It's not the only theme, but it's an unavoidable theme to be discussed in every single sector or every single thematic conversation today.
And as you said, that among the 47 heads of state who participated, there was a massive representation, particularly of the Global South. Do you think it's important for them to be represented? Because only last year, when India was hosting G20, we was the chair of G20 summit, Prime Minister Modi added African nations and made it G20 plus.
That's very important. When we looked at who participates in some of the biggest platforms around the world, we saw an absence of the Global South in these platforms. So we decided also to create a complementary participation of these countries to have a voice at the World Government Summit. So you can see, as you said, a big presence from the Global South on a conversation on how the Global South is influencing the future of politics, geopolitics, geoeconomics, etc. You see every single region of the Global South is present for a South-South conversation, not necessarily a global conversation only. So despite all the tensions, all the untrust, all the disruptions that are around us, we have looked at the summit as an opportunity for everyone to come together for a dialogue where this dialogue should and could lead for an impactful outcome. Touching on the other item on what is expected to come out of this, we will publish 36 reports out of these conversations. Based on the conversations we have had at the summit on the first 2 days, but we still have one more day to go. So these reports will conceptualize all these conversations into frameworks and models that government can adopt to improve and take their government services to the next step.
So let me ask you about behind the scenes, as someone who conceptualizes these summits. What went into it, and when did you start your work to reach out to the various heads of state, to reach out to the members of the industry?
So the work starts by the end of the World Government Summit.
Okay.
So
the preparations for the next year will start
tomorrow after the summit. But there is a reason for that. Today, the World Government Summit is not only a conference, it's not only a symposium, it's more of a platform that convenes government leaders and the private sector together. One more thing, the Government Summit today is a membership platform. So we have corporate members from all over the world. And the intersection between the private sector and the government sector is key for us in order to bring relevant conversations, timely conversations to the table. So the work starts by the end of the World Government Summit. It continues throughout the year, and everything keeps evolving and changing as long as we are looking at global trends and integrating these global trends into our conversation when it comes the time for the World Government Summit.
You know, it's often said that perhaps this platform is also positioning itself as the Davos of the Middle East.
Well, that's a compliment. Thank you for that. But the way I look at it, we are trying to complement the work that Davos is trying to do. We are not trying to build something that competes with Davos. It's more of a platform. If you look at the difference, we are a platform for governments. The main stakeholder of the World Government Summit are governments, but we make sure that everyone else attends. So you will see the tech giants, you will see the investors, you will see the family offices, you will see the scientists, the researchers, you will see the regulators, you will see the international organizations, but at the core of these conversations, you will always see the government presence. So I think it's a complementary platform to all the global efforts that are happening out there. The summit, the World Government Summit, has distinguished itself to become a positive or a future forward-looking platform for governments.
Okay, thank you so much for this
Thank you.
conversation, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you for being here.